everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so we are the group 3 and we are assigned to share our knowledge about the Renaissance literature. I am the first reporter and I am Justin May. I am Justin May ATHENA, and now let's proceed with our topic. So we have here the timeline of the Renaissance period. So it started from the 14th century. So Proto-Renaissance, this is a period of the transition from the Middle Ages to the Renaissance. So I want you to remember that the period of transition from the Middle Ages to the Renaissance is called Proto-Renaissance. Okay, so the 100 years war between England and France. Okay, so the 100 years war between England and France happened in this century. This also includes the happening, the Black Death devastates Europe, the young century. And the Cosimo de' Medici comes to power in Florence, promoting the arts. The early Renaissance phase characterized by artists like Donatello and Masaccio. Gutenberg's printing press is developed, revolutionizing the spread of knowledge during the 15th century. Okay, so in the 16th century, the Protestant Reformation begins with Martin Luther's 95 Theses. William Shakespeare becomes one of the greatest playwrights of all time, and the scientific revolution takes place with figures like Copernicus and Galileo challenging traditional beliefs. And during the 17th century, the Baroque period in art and music emerges, characterized by grandeur and ornamentation. The English Civil War and the 30 Years' War reshaped European politics. The Enlightenment movement challenges traditional authority and emphasizes reason and science. Okay, so I am just reading some of the happenings during the Renaissance period because we tackled this during our high school years, and I know that you have remembered all of this. We're just doing it. After my part, I'll be asking some of you about my topic. This is just a sort of review. Okay, let's proceed. What is Renaissance period? The Renaissance was a period between the 1300s and 1660. The word Renaissance comes from the French word for rebirth, referring to the movement's origins following the Dark Ages and the new interest in and rediscovery of Greek and Roman texts that inspired the minds of the time. Okay, so the word Renaissance comes from the French word means rebirth. And according to my research, the person who coined the term Renaissance is a French historian. He is, I don't know if he is or she is. Kasi ang name kay Jules Michelet. Jules Michelet. The spelling of I don't know if it's the correct pronunciation, but the spelling of the word is M-I-C-H-E-L-E. Jules Michelet. Okay, so during Renaissance, revival of classic learning and wisdom, which is why this is considered as the rebirth because
Klaro ka mo sa video.
Okay. Renaissance na considered as rebirth, guys. It is also the revival of the classical learning and wisdom. And also it is the revival of the arts and studies from the medieval period. So ang mga literary pieces, mga practices of learning and wisdom during the medieval, some of those kahit nawala siya. So during the Renaissance, nawala siya, na-revive. Yes.
Reverse. Yes.
Okay, so these are some examples of some of the pakita sa mga images sa mga literary pieces during the Renaissance. Okay, so sa ilang as before, kay normal na siya nang magbububuan. So sana ka, ginadun siya.
Because in order to achieve spiritual perfection, you
Yeah.
have to show your body type. It really talks about spiritual aspects. So, para mas makita nila na ang yung spirituality ka. So, which is why Last baya is a state last.
Yes.
O nga, gagawin mo ang dalawang ng mga pieces. Putanawin. Putanawin sa mga pieces. Oh my God.
yes.
Gagawin ba?
Yes.
Okay, dapat hindi siya mag-trigger o hindi siya mag-evoke o lasciviousness.
Ang focus kay wala na doon.
Although, kung sa kanan, dapat na kumain.
Gusto ko lang always, sir,
before, the sexiest is the butodess.
Busog? Ata, busog.
But to die. Like, if you're pregnant, you're the sexiest of all.
Shit.
Organization of men. That is actually painted by a sculptor. Sculpture siya. Actually, sculpture siya, pero isuko siya na magking. That is why hindi ko price ang sculpture, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Sculpture. Sino natin?
Yes. Winner rotate.
Bama at David isaw. Nagalas David. Hindi naman tayo na ano. Wala yung bakit na ano ha?
Wala yung
bakit na basbasan. That is why ganyan. Di ba?
Okay, so the results are...
Hindi ka lang sa stage up. Jai. Hindi ba tayo taraw ha?
Did you put it on?
Ano mo gamit kayo? Balik mo dito sa
It is.
for national one.
Okay, so let's now proceed with the characteristics of the Renaissance. So Renaissance, the idea of the divine right of kings to rule. So because Renaissance, na makita nila ang idea na there are kings ang rule siya, pero of course na yung mga divine intervention.
Oo, kay during that time, ang tinagaan ko really is the human being. Yeah. Ang capacity, so ibig sabihin, kung bulok di ka, naakadihan na tao, you are cast away. So I think that is why napupuntos dito ang Renaissance.
Salamat, Jude. Nakakadin sa
And of course, the development of humanistic ideas. Humans were given so much significance, which is why the development of humanistic ideas and present during this period. Okay, the time of scientific inquiry and exploration. And of course, time of the Protestant Reformation and the invention of the printing press. Okay. Characteristics of Renaissance literature. Okay, now we talked about the characteristics of the Renaissance period. We will be talking about the characteristics of Renaissance literature. Hi, sir. Okay, so first we have the human itself. Renaissance literature focused on human experiences, values, and emotions. So from the human. Diba? So nag-focus siya, parang kayo sir yun, na nag-focus siya, so nag-focus siya sa human experiences, values, and emotions. Like that is EDWIN. We have the individualism. Writers explore the uniqueness and complexity of human characters and personalities. Okay, so the individualism, very explore sa mga writer, ang characteristics sa individual. Every individual, ilang ginatana kung sa complex ang character personality, and with that, compare nila ba kung sa gitang nila. We have also the revival of classical themes, ancient Greek and Roman ideas, mythology, and history influenced literary themes. So the mga literary themes ay influence by the ancient Greek and Roman ideas. What are those ideas? Diba tayo mga it talks about mga goddess, mga na mythology, history, na-influence niya ang literary themes. Okay, so we also have, so these are the themes and subjects in Renaissance literature. We have the love and romance. Poetry and plays explore the complexities of love, from courtly love to tragic romances. So from courtly love, para mga love na ato ang ganahan, to tragic romances. Ganang o para mga tragedy, no? Kinanaan, isa sa mga themes and subjects are love and romance. We also have the religion and spirituality. Religious beliefs and conflicts play a crucial role in shaping literature during this period. So diya sa Renaissance period, naagad present ang mga religious beliefs and mga conflicts. This also helped shape the literature during this period. Okay, most of the content sa mga literary pieces during this period, okay, na-focus mo sa We also have the power and politics. Writers delved into the dynamics of power, addressing themes of monarchy, ambition, and corruption. So later on, we'll be giving you examples na nag-talk siya about dynamics of power, addressing themes of monarchy, ambition, and corruption. And most of those works kay contributed by William Shakespeare. Okay, so the most famous artistic works that were produced during the Renaissance include the Mona Lisa, made by
Da Vinci. Leonardo. Sabi mga misteryo ng mga kuhan.
We also have the Last Supper. Si Da Vinci yung nagawa namin, yes. So yun siya sa Bible.
Ah, okay.
Lost
Yes.
Summer. Ano siya? Inspired by.
Ang huling hapunan. Statue of David.
So sa Statue of David, made by Michelangelo. So ano siya? Okay. Remember, these are the famous works ha. Okay, now then. The person visually is not the birth. Wala kami circumcision after. Okay, paano na?
Pero naman, before na
Ah, wala.
Murag wala.
Okay, so siya, the girl of Redmond, sarawin yun. Sarawin yun, the girl is, ay, ang damutan kay, nakuha siya, hindi sila nakaflat ng kuwan. Ako may breakout ako. Okay, we also have the creation of Ada.
The birth of
Made by
Venus.
Michelangelo. Oh, yes. The creation of Ada. So, yung mga analysis, mga interpretations, ani, di ba? Yes. Okay. We are having
Para sa kamali.
then. Okay, so we are now down to the authors of the Renaissance period. So these are the authors I want you to remember their names. Yes. Okay, so the Renaissance geniuses, some of the most famous and groundbreaking Renaissance intellectuals, artists, scientists, and writers include the likes of, we have, Leonardo da Vinci, 1452 to 1519. What is siya ang birth year? Italian painter, architect, inventor, and Renaissance man, responsible for painting the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. Okay, so what is siya ang Renaissance man? Leonardo da Vinci, Renaissance man. Desiderios Erasmus, 1466 to 1536, scholar from Poland, who defined the humanist movement in Northern Europe. Translator of the New Testament into Greek. Okay, so ang nag-translate ay sa New Testament into Greek ay si Desiderios Erasmus. O sa nagaling?
Wala.
Okay, ready, start. So yun yung start, remember sa ang nagaling? Describes na siya.
Describes.
Sa follow the order. Ha? Descartes. Descartes. Ready, Descartes. Ito ba sa atang modern ha? Katong Katong
Ah, katong Fibonacci.
Magkano sa mga René Descartes, sorry. 1596 to 1650, French philosopher, mathematician, regarded as father of modern philosophy.
I think therefore I am.
Therefore I am. I think I am pretty, therefore I am.
Therefore.
Galileo, 1564 to 1642, Italian astronomer, physicist, and engineer whose pioneering work with telescopes enabled him to describe the moons of Jupiter and rings of Saturn. Galileo. Placed under house arrest for his use of a heliocentric universe. Okay, ready to start? Okay, we still have Nicholas Copernicus, 1473 to 1543. He is a mathematician and astronomer who made first modern scientific argument for the concept of heliocentric solar system. Ano sa heliocentric? Ang heliocentric, okay, ang heliocentric ay referred to or measured from the sun center or appearing as if sun seen from it. Basta relating to the sun as center. Kanang ilahay, ang ilahan paniniwala ba kay ang sun as center sa solar system.
Wow.
Thomas Hobbes, 1588 to 1679, English philosopher and author of Leviathan. Giotto, 1266 to 1337. He is an Italian painter and architect whose more realistic depictions of human emotions influenced generations of artists. Best known for his frescoes in the Scrovegni Chapel in Padua. Okay, so when we say frescoes, this is the art of painting on freshly spread moist lime plaster with water-based pigments. Gamit na siya, gamit during in Scrovegni Chapel in Padua. Ang gamit niya kaya mga frescoes. Mga the art of painting. Okay, so we also have Dante, 1265 to 1321. He is an Italian philosopher, poet, writer, and political thinker who authored the Divine Comedy. Inferno, di ba? Yes, Inferno. Niccolo Machiavelli, Italian diplomat and philosopher famous for writing The Prince and the discourses on yan. Italian painter celebrated for his portraits of Pope Paul III and Charles I, and his later religious and mythical paintings like Venus and Adonis and Metamorphosis. Okay, so we also have okay, so we have Israel, English Biblical Translator, Humanist and Solar Bird at the stake for translating the Bible into English. Okay, siya kaya nga translate sa Bible into English for us. Or I can comprehend it better. William Byrd, English composer known for his devotion to English madrigal and his religious poem and music. We also have John Milton, an English poet and historian who wrote the book Paradise Lost. William Shakespeare, England's national poet and the most famous playwright of all time, celebrated for his sonnets and plays like Romeo and Juliet. Donatello, Italian sculptor, celebrated for lifelike sculptures like David, commissioned by the Medici family. Sandro Botticelli, Italian painter of birth of Venus. We also have Raphael, Italian painter who learned from Da Vinci and Michelangelo. Pero sa nakalearn na siya Da Vinci, or iyang sa his works kay he got most of those ideas from Da Vinci and Michelangelo. Best known for his paintings of the Madonna and the School.
Inspired.
Michelangelo, Italian sculptor, painter, and architect, Mark David, painted the Sistine Chapel of Rome. Most of Rome. Okay, so we are now moving to the survey at the Renaissance literature. Okay, so William Shakespeare. Widely considered one of the greatest playwrights of all time, Shakespeare was so well respected for his work that a specific type of sonnet, sonnet 18. Yes. Ang tawag ka ng sonnet 18 niya, Shakespearean sonnet. Named after him. During his life, he wrote dozens of plays and coined more than 1,700 words still used in English today, such as cryptic, idle, and zane. Okay, so some of these are, I will show you some of the
Hamlet,
words of
William Shakespeare.
Okay, the Hamlet. So what is that? The tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Often shortened to Hamlet. His tragedy written by William Shakespeare sometime between 1599 and 1601. It is Shakespeare's longest play. It has 509,551 words. So imagine na siya. You know, ito makabot 100 words. So set in Denmark, the play depicts Prince Hamlet and his attempts to exact revenge against his uncle Claudius, who has murdered Hamlet's father in order to seize his throne and marry Hamlet's mother. Okay, so kani siya, ang main point sa Hamlet kay the mystery of death. Kaya sa Hamlet ang good, kaya ano siya biglaan, nag-start yun ang eagerness ba ni Hamlet. Hamlet is a prince na pwede kang eagerness ba naman kung ano revenge sa pagkapatay siyang papa tungod kay na ay ghost na ipakita. Katulad ni ghost, nibilig nga, papa ka niya, tapos dito na rin ang patay sa ako kaya inuha ang angkol.
Tama.
It had a ghost before. And revenge and justice. Claudius' murder of King Hamlet initiates, di ba? Ang pagpatay ni Claudius sa papa ni Hamlet initiates Hamlet's quest for revenge, and Claudius' death is the end of that quest. So ang pamatayo ni Claudius kay mo ang nag-end at that quest. Okay, so why is this considered as tragedy? For it features the elements of a tragedy common in these times, such as murder, ghosts, and someone seeking revenge. So na-consider siya as tragedy kay present nito ang mga patay, and ghosts, and someone seeking revenge. Siya yung siya, kanang gamit kayo, si Hamlet kay, si Prince Hamlet kay, kuhan siya kanang, ang iyang pag-revenge kay, tungkol na itong nakita niya ang ghost siyang papa, tapos kuhan man, ang iyang mga uncle kay, nakagusto man siya ang mamatay, tapos kuhan siya. Ang pagkapatay sa papa ni Prince Hamlet kay, gipoison ang, gibutangan o poison ang iyang galunggan. Tapos namatay ko si Hamlet, kay nag-sparring man sila ni Kuan, katong nasa yung kalaban naso, nag-sparring sila ba? Tapos natugaban man sila, katong sword kay nasa yung poison. Kaya nasa niya, katong si Claudius, kinasa yung preparing ang word juice ba? Minakatong na Diyos, kinasa yung poison, niya dapat ay, while nag-sparring sila, kung muinom man si Prince Hamlet, mamatay sa dito, kasi ko sa nag sword. Niya kaya ang inom kaya iyang mama, kung man sa kabalo ba? Kaya wag magkabalo mama niya, na ay poison. So, nauna patay ang mama, so siya, tapos ito na dinabalaan na. Patay ang nagbutang na voice ko si Claudius. Tapos, nadunggaban na siya, so, mo rin to, wala sila like nagpatay yung taman ba? Kay, dito na siya, namatay na po siya kagabi, kaya nadunggaban na siya na poison. So, ang nita ba ito, poison teacher? Kaya si Prince Hamlet, kaya naamo din ang present kami din ang mga divine intervention religious na mga activities ba? So, ang nakita mo ako, sige ka-move, kaya kang pagpatay sa kay Claudius. At naman ito isa nga, nasa sila yung isa kasi ba nga? What's that? Kanang naay mga artist, naay mga artist, nagato sa ilahan. Tapos, kanang ano siya, ay naman siya friend, at then siya, ay sige, ako ni pa-in-act sa mga artist, ang murag katong imagine niya makapatay siyang papa. Ipato niya si Claudius. Kung akalis yung mga play niya, murag ma-shock si Kwan, ibig sabihin, hinato yung pagkabuhat ko, ibig sabihin siya siya patay. So, kaya, ang nakita mo kay, kung di-in-act ato ng mga, sa mga artist, tapos, nilakawan si Claudius, so ate, si dahil sa akin, ay, siya di patay. So, gusto na niya, kasi pagkato niya, kaya nag-ampok lang. Kaya nag-ampok lang, sanay siya nga, tama naman kung siya nagpatay, kaya iyakang reaction, pero nag-ampok mo siya, so bawal na ako sa pat yun. Kaya nag-pray man siya. Kung ako man sa pat yun, tapos while he is praying, bato siya sa langit, kaya he was praying man that time, wala iyakang ko na. So, ano siya kasi next na lang, kita lain. Tapos, sige siya na-move mo ng, midterm na. Oh, midterm na kayo. Kaya siya, ano niya, sige nga daw ba? Habang ito ako sa sparring na lang ng tabo. Kaya ito siya. Actually, nasa kaya siya, okay, long test siya. Okay.
Longest King Lear.
King Lear is a tragedy written, most of his works kay focus on tragedy. Di ba ang Romeo and Juliet ba? Diba? Written by William Shakespeare is based on the mythological Lear of his day. King Lear, in preparation for his old age, divides his power and land between two of his daughters. He becomes destitute and insane and prescribed tracts of political machinations. So, dili ang mga bidaan ng story kay kaya siya kay, this was written in 1605 or 1606. I will not siya ganun exactly. So, King Lear was entered on the stationer's register in 1607.
Content
Kaya siya
matters.
work kay nasunod siya sa stationer's register during 1607. So, ang stationer's register, muna siya ang record book na maintained by the stationer's company sa London. Pag masunod na yung convert ito, sabihin, how this day ka? Kaya ka. Collected the publication of books. Okay, so kaya siya, ang hitabot nila ito kay si King Lear, father na siya, nagtiko na siya. So, dili wala ko yung dina ba ang story sa mga, literary cases during sa Renaissance kaya nasa yung mga monarchy, mga ambitions, mga power, kaya ano, kaya si King Lear, nasa tulo ka, babae na anak. And then, tulo siya, si King Lear kay, para siya kay, ay a person with, so, mas ang kote ba, a person with everything a complement, kay murag nothing. Kaya diba, pag dili ka nila i-complement, murag wala kay Bruce. So, ibuhat niya para i-divide, para makatagat na niya ang anak, makuha na niya ang anak ug mana sa iya. Iya, ipa-express through words kung sa nila ka-love ng father. So, una, iyang mawala si Goneril, iya, ikaw si Regan, ay ikaw si Cordelia. Mangkod siya na kay si Goneril si Regan. I love you kayo pa, ano siya, tapos kanina, sabi ka sa mga pa, love kayo ni mama, ano siya. Tapos si Cordelia kay, ano siya, she is the youngest and favorite daughter siya actually. Pero kay, iya, magtitinuod, magtitiyakan. So, ano siya, hindi na ako ma-express through words, ano siya, kung sa tiyak ka lang, papa. So, nakita ko, na-misunderstood siya pa. Siya nga, kuy, ano siya, siya. At saka, kuy, kaya di ba yan? Hindi ba yung ma-express? Very wrong ka, ano siya. Murag nalayan siya ba, na-misinterpret niya siya. Ay, pinanatay ka ha. Kaya tuturo din siya, para siya mga complements are the best. So, more into ano siya, hawak din i-disown niya si Cordelia, kaya di ba niya ma-express through words. Kaya tinagod, nag-diba na. So, i-disown niya, di-banish, ihawa-hawa niya sa ilahang kingdom, umantong ilahang sulubon niya si Ken. Kanya kaya si Cordelia, nasa ito ka, sutor. Ang isa ka sutor niya, kay kuan ka lang, siya, ay, di-disown mo kasi yung papa, di balayas kasi yung kingdom, din ako sa imuha. Di ko mag-bring yung tao na kayo, ako magpamagawin sa imuha. Kanya ana siya, kung ang babae, awak yung makuha sa babae, kasi magkawala ka ito. President, na sa mga nagagamit na nila. Sorry, Ben. Tapos, ang ikatuhan niya mga maniligaw kay, ano siya nga, King of France. Ano siya nga. Ay, represent ba ba ng disown sa papa? Wala ka. Wala si sir. Ano, bakit ka, ano siya. Tapos, wala nagkuban sila. Iba na niya si Cordelia. O, nagkuban siya. Tapos, to make the story short, kung ano yun, ganang. Kasi sa paghawa dahil nila kaya nagkana dahil ito ang anak niya. Nagkana dahil yung mga anak ko, pati na ito si Papa. Tapos after that, o dito, kadugayat kay nakabalo na pa sa iya, namatay ko si Cordelia yung kamanggulat. Tapos mo nasakit yung father ba? Kanang, so too much grief nga iya na feel. Di mo rin, tumor kayo nakabangkian.
Yes.
Okay, so, ano to siya, ang title din ay niya no kay M. William Shakespeare called his true chronicle history of the life and death of King Lear and his 3 daughters. So, as the years go by,
King
pass
Lear.
on, shorten siya, so yung King Lear. Okay, so that's all for, sorry guys. Okay, so malayan na. So, ano to siya, and
Good day, everyone. I am Athena Tavis Mercado to continue our discussion about the survey of Renaissance authors and their literature. So let me introduce to you one of the famous author during the Renaissance period. No other than is John Milton. Milton was a Puritan writer who wrote Paradise Lost, another poem often ranked as one of the greatest in history. His work was infused with his religious beliefs, take note of that, while also embracing some of the newer thoughts of the Renaissance, since Renaissance is a period or era of enlightenment or rebirth. So, such as the ability of humans to achieve great things. So, during this period, people are very eager of success. They are very knowledgeable about things, about science, especially in literature. So, John Milton, he was a 17th century writer, and I mentioned earlier he was widely known for his religious political writings. So all of his writings are all about political or either a religious. So he wrote all his masterpiece related to his beliefs and his standing about politics. So John Milton wrote the Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained, one of his famous work. So a little trivia about him. John Milton wrote the Paradise Regained. He was blind during that time. But he used a team of scribes to help him edit and write his work. So let's go. Let's dive into his writings about his 2 famous works, The Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained. So first, let us discuss his work about Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost. Okay, so it is really an interesting epic poem written by John Milton. So Paradise Lost is an epic poem in blank verse by the 17th century English poet John Milton, 1608 to 1674. The first version was published in 1667. Consists of 10 books with over 10,000 lines of verse. A second edition followed in 1674, arranged into 12 books in the manner of Virgil's Aeneid, with minor revisions throughout. So, Paradise Lost is all about the retelling of the story of the biblical story about Adam and Eve. So, if we still remember in the creation of the world in the book of Genesis 1 until the end is where Adam and Eve was created by God. So it explores themes such as the nature of freedom, the nature of free will, since God gave us the gift of free will. To, it is our freedom to choose from good into bad and bad into good. So So this epic poem explored the themes of temptation, free will, and redemption. So the themes and messages that we can get from this epic poem is the poem grapples with the idea of human suffering and the quest of knowledge. It also delves into political issues such as the tension between authority and liberty. The authority here is our God, and the liberty, it's all that describes the the two characters here, Adam and Eve. So the major characters mentioned in this epic poem is, first we have Satan. So Satan here is the antagonist. His pride and ambition lead him to rebel against God, and he becomes the ruler of hell. So it was already discussed to us, introduced to us about Satan, right? So Adam and Eve, the first humans was created by God. So because of their obedience leads to their expulsion from the Garden of Eden. Because of that snake, because of Satan, God expelled them from Garden of Eden. So the three characters represents different aspects of human experience such as rebellion, innocence, and redemption. So going back with the man behind with this masterpiece, so John Milton, he was a devout Christian. He grappled with complex theological issues. So his poetry reflects his beliefs, yeah, in human freedom, God's justice, and the role of the individual in our society. So um that's enough for the Paradise Lost. So con- let's dive into another epic poem, The Paradise Regained. So, The Paradise Regained, this poem is often paired with Samson Agonistes. It was published in the same volume in 1671. Paradise Regained is an epic poem in four books. It serves as a sequel to Paradise Lost. It focuses on the later life of Jesus Christ, specifically his temptation in the wilderness by Satan. If you still remember when Jesus fasted for how many days? 40 days, I think. In contrast to the grand scale of Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained is more concise and emphasizes the spiritual and moral triumph of Christ. So, the Paradise Lost, it focuses only on the life of Adam and Eve, how they tempted by Satan and how rebellious Satan. So where Paradise Regained, it focuses on or emphasizes the spiritual and moral triumph of Christ. So Paradise Regained is a poem and four books that tells the story of Christ's temptation in the wilderness. Yeah, by Satan. Christ emerges victorious, resisting Satan's temptations and retaining to the world to begin his ministry. So the theme evolves on good and evil, temptation, free will, and redemption, as well as the nature of Christ's divinity of humanity. So the poem highlights the importance of free will in the human experience and how redemption is possible through faith and moral courage. So this epic poem has a lot of controversies encountered this during his publication during its publication, I mean. So it was met in the mixed reaction when it was first published, with some critics praising its moral and religious message and others finding fault with its style and context. So the characters here is mentioned in this epic poem: Jesus Christ, Satan, and others. So Jesus Christ is depicted as a complex and human figure grappling with temptation and personal struggles, while Satan here portrayed as a cunning and manipulative figure on tempting Christ and leading him away from his divine ministry. So another character mentioned in Paradise Regained, it was Simon the Magus, a sorcerer who tries to distract Christ from his mission. So next is Abdil, our angel, an angel who supports Christ and his ministry. So the structure and style of Paradise Regained, uh, or narrative structure, and it uses biblical allusions. So narrative structure, because it was divided into four books, each recounting a different stage of Christ, temptation, and emergence from the wilderness. So Paradise Regained remains a powerful and enduring work of literature, offering readers insights into the nature of good and evil, the importance of moral courage and faith, and enduring power of poetry to inspire and challenge us. So Milton's work, or his contributions to English literature and culture, are immeasurable, and his impact continues to be felt today. The works of countless writers and thinkers around the world. That's all of my report. Thank you.
So once again, we have another story of the Renaissance literature. So Niccolo Machiavelli was an Italian diplomat, philosopher, and a writer who lived during the Renaissance period from 1469 to 1527. So he is best known for the famous work The Prince, which is a significant piece of political literature. So today I'm going to explain the theme, the style, plot, and the author purpose and the connection of his work to the Renaissance. So the genre of this is about political philosophy, advanced literature. Now let's proceed to the overview of this literature. So The Prince is a piece of writings that offer the guidance on leadership, political strategy, and statecraft. So Machiavelli wrote it during a time when Italy was politically unstable and divided. So the work is dedicated to Lorenzo de Medici, a prominent political figure of that time. So, and it is often seen as a manual for rulers, no, or the leaders on how to gain and maintain power. Okay, so Machiavelli's life and experience. No, what is the Machiavelli's experience about his life? Okay, so Machiavelli lived in Florence, Italy during the early 16th century. So which was a time of a great political instability in the Italian city-state. So his own experience in government service shaped his perspective. Okay, so let's move on to the theme of that literature, The Prince. So The Prince is primarily deals with the theme of power, leadership, and moral ambiguity. So Machiavelli's book offer insight, no, into how ruler can acquire and maintain political power, often emphasizing practicality and adaptability in the politics. So it also raises questions about the moral and ethical dilemmas that the rulers might face in their quest for power. So what is the style Machiavelli used in her writing? So the prince is a direct, clear, and focused on a practical advice. So he uses historical examples and case studies to illustrate his point, making it accessible and persuasive to his intended audience. So it's about ruler and political leaders. Purpose in writing this literature it is during the period in Italy where he had experience in the various government rule. So his aim was to provide advice to the leaders on how to maintain and expand their power. Ultimately, nag-contribute siya sa stability and the unity of the Italy. So Machiavelli wrote the French with specific aim in mind. So he intended to provide a practical advice to the leaders on how to acquire, maintain, and consolidate political power. So he believed that his insight could help a leader to navigate the complexities of politics during a period. So the Prince, the title itself, it is a clear indication that the book is aimed at a ruler or those who aspire to rule. It is the book that focuses on the exercise of power and authority. The connections to the Renaissance it is the Machiavelli's life and work were deeply connected to the Renaissance. So this period was characterized by a revival of classical art, literature, and philosophy, as well as a significant development in political thought. So the French reflect the intellectual climates of the time. So in conclusion, the French is a crucial piece of political literature from the Renaissance period, offering a valuable insight into the exercise of power and leadership. Let me discuss another literature by Niccolo about discourses on a levee. He wrote this during the Renaissance period. So the genre of this literature is about political philosophy, historical analysis, and commentary. So, the overview of this literature, the courses on a levee, is a significant work in the field of political theory and philosophy, written by the Italian Renaissance thinker Niccolo Machiavelli. So, this work is a collection of his thought, his reflections, and observations on the political and historical lesson he drew from the writings on the ancient Roman historian Livy. To the theme and discourses under the levee. So Machiavelli explored the several themes. So one central theme is republicanism. So he delved into the concept of a republic as a form of government and discussed its merit and challenges. So his work is deeply rooted in history and political philosophy na nag-use siya og historical account of Roman historian Livy to frame his political reflections. So Machiavelli also focuses on the qualities and virtue required of the leaders in a republic. So he believed that effective leaders needed a combination of strategic and adaptability and a moral virtue. Machiavelli's writing style in writing discourses on a levee is characterized by a meticulous and logical analysis of historical events and their applications to political theory. So he employed a combination of expository prose and argumentation to convey his ideas, making his work accessible for both scholar and general readers. For purpose, Machiavelli wrote discourses on a levee during a time when Italy was politically fragmented and under the foreign domination. So his aim was to provide a practical guidance and insight for a leader and drawing a lesson from historical examples. So he believed that studying history and understanding the dynamic of power could help Italy regain its independence and stability. So what is the connection of the title, no? So this title, Machiavelli chose the title Discourses on Livy because he used Livy's historical writing as a foundation for his own discussion on political theory and republicanism. So he wanted to engage with Livy's historical account to extract lesson and insight for the governance of a contemporary state. Connections to the Renaissance. So Machiavelli work, including his discourses on Livy, are firmly connected in the Renaissance period. So the Renaissance was characterized by a renewed interest in classical and focused on humanism. So Machiavelli work reflect the intellectual and cultural as the draw on classical text and historical examples to develop his political theory. So the Renaissance emphasized the human agency, individualism, and the revival of classical knowledge influenced the writing significantly. Conclusion, Discourses on Livy by Niccolo Machiavelli is a pivotal work in the history of political thought, exploring republicanism, leadership, and the applications of historical lessons to the contemporary politics. So it is firmly rooted in the Renaissance period, reflecting the intellectual and cultural currents of the time. So thank you for your attention, and that's all my report.
Okay, this is the continuation of the story of Renaissance literature. Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra, an early modern Spanish writer widely regarded as the greatest writer in the Spanish language and one of the world's preeminent novelists. He is best known for his novel Don Quixote, a work often cited as both the first modern novel and the first great novel of world literature. Miguel de Cervantes is the most important and celebrated figure in Spanish literature. He was widely influential and is often regarded as the greatest Spanish writer. The plot of Don Quixote. It follows the adventure of an aging nobleman, Alonso Quixano, who becomes obsessed with chivalric romance and transforms himself into the delusional knight-errant Don Quixote. With his loyal squire Sancho Panza, they embark on a series of comical and often absurd adventures attempting to right perceived wrong. The style of the novel Don Quixote. Cervantes employed a unique narrative style on Don Quixote, blending humor, satire, and realism. The novel is known for its meta-fictional elements where characters are aware of being part of a story. The prose combines formal languages with colloquial expression, adding depth to character portrayal and societal critique. The theme of this novel encompasses the contrast between reality and fantasy, exploring the consequences of idealism in pragmatic world. It delves into the power of literature and the impact of imagination on one's perception of reality. Additionally, the novel reflects on the nature of heroism, social norms, and the complexities of identity. Miguel Cervantes likely chose the title Don Quixote to emphasize the central character transformation. Quixote is derived from the Spanish word quejot, meaning cuirass or breastplate. The title suggests that the protagonist's knightly aspirations, highlighting his delusion and the contrast between his idealism, vision, and the harsh realities he faced. Don Quixote is often considered a product of the Renaissance period due to its exploration of individualism, humanism, and the shifting worldview of the time. The novel's satirical tone also aligns with the Renaissance spirit of challenging conventional ideas through wit, and intellect. Then Don Quixote is a Cervantes magnum opus and one of the most influential works in the history of literature. The novel, first published in two parts in 1605, 1615, and tells the story of a nobleman named Alonso Quixano who becomes delusional and transforms himself into the self-styled knight errant, Don Quixote. The novel is celebrated for its exploration of the boundary between reality and fiction, as well as its satirical commentary on the society and literature of Cervantes' time. The second piece, which was written by Miguel de Cervantes, is the Novelas Ejemplares. It is a collection of 12 short stories or novellas written by Cervantes and first published in 1613. These stories cover a wide range of themes and characters, including love, adventure, deception, and social issues. These novellas are known for their rich character development and exploration of human nature. The plot of the novel Novelas Ejemplares, the indigenous gentleman of La Mancha, which follows the misadventure of a young man trying to win the heart of a nobleman. Another is Reconete and Cortadillo, portraying the lives of two young thieves in Seville. The collection provides a diverse glimpse into the society of Cervantes' time. The style of this novella showcases Cervantes' versatile writing style, combining elements of realism, satire, and moralizing tales. The story vary in tone, narrative approach, incorporating humor, wit, and social commentary. It employs a rich language, blending colloquial expression with more formal prose. The theme of the novel, Novelas Ejemplares, revolve around the complexities of human nature, morality, and social issues. Each story explores different facets of love, deception, honor, and justice. Miguel de Cervantes wrote Novela Ejemplares to offer diverse collection of stories that not only to entertain but to provide moral lesson. Okay, that would be all for my part. Miss Leah Orlandez will continue the report.
So, a pleasant afternoon to each and every one of us. I am Leah Orlandez, and for today's video, we will talk all about the Michael de Montaigne work. But first, let me introduce the Michael Montaigne. So, Michael Montaigne was born in a wealthy noble family in France, had access to knowledge and resources from an early age. Montaigne serves as a politician and mayor, bringing a unique perspective to his writing. His exposure to various cultures and philosophies influenced his ideas on writing style. So, Michael de Montaigne was a prominent worker during 16th century. So, one of his work is the Essays. So, Montaigne's Essays is a collection of essays that he began writing in the late 16th century. These essays cover a wide range of topics including human nature, education, friendship, the art of conversation, and the complexities of the self. Montaigne is often regarded as the father of the modern essay and is known for his introspective and personal writing. So, here are some reasons of writing the essays. So, self-exploration. Montaigne penned the essays as a means to understand himself better, reflecting on his thoughts, beliefs, and experiences. Sharing knowledge. He aimed to share his insights and wisdom with future generations, offering a unique perspective on human nature. Critical analysis. Montaigne critiqued prevailing social norms and questioning and established authorities, encouraging critical thinking. So, plot and themes of the essays. Introspection. Montaigne delves into the depths of his own mind, exploring his emotions, doubts, and personal growth. Human nature. Uncovering the complexities of human nature, Montaigne explores topics such as love, friendship, and morality. Skepticism. Challenging traditional knowledge, Montaigne embraces skepticism, urging readers to question their own beliefs. So, here are the overview story of the essays. So, the essays is a collection of introspective and philosophical essays covering a wide range of topics. Montaigne uses anecdotals, personal experiences, and historical references to convey his ideas in an engaging manner. So, here are the connection of essays to the Renaissance period. So, the essays played a crucial role in defining the Renaissance movement and its ideals. Essays embodies the spirit of intellectual curiosity and humanistic ideals flourishing during the Renaissance. So, Montaigne ideas remain relevant and resonate with readers across centuries, offering profound impacts and insights into the human condition. Montaigne's candid self-reflection encourages us to embark on our own journey of self-discovery and personal growth. So, another work of Michel de Montaigne is the Apology for Raymond Sebond. This essay, which is a part of Montaigne's essays, is one of his most famous and discusses the limitations of human knowledge, the nature of belief, and the role of reason in human affairs. In this work, Montaigne examines the ideas of the 15th century theologian Raymond Sebond and offers his own thoughts on skepticism and the search for truth. So, the overview of the Apology for Raymond Sebond. So, Michel de Montaigne wrote Apology for Raymond Sebond as a defense of Christianity and a critique of human knowledge. The primary themes includes skepticism about human abilities to comprehend the divine, the limitations of reason, and the need for faith. So, theme. Montaigne explores the limitations of human reason and the uncertainty of knowledge, emphasizing the importance of humility and acknowledging our intellectual limitations. He uses Sebond's works as a means to question the reliability of human understanding. So, style. Montaigne's writing is characterized by personal reflection and exploration of ideas. He pioneered the essay from employing a conversational and introspective tone. So, plot. The Apology for Raymond Sebond doesn't have a traditional plot, as it's an essay rather than narrative. Montaigne examines Sebond's theologia naturalis and uses it as a springboard to discuss broader philosophical and theological issues, weaving in his own thought and experiences. So, connection to the Renaissance period. So, Montaigne's work is emblematic of Renaissance humanism, a movement emphasizing the value of classical learning, individualism, and a broad range of intellectual pursuits. So, that's all for today. I hope you learned something. Thank you.